You know what that sound is, guys? Do you know what that sound is? It's the sound of victory. It's the sound that I have been right this whole time. For the longest time, your boy has been saying Microsoft has been helping these studios that they've been buying. Xbox has been sending these studios out. They've been supporting them. Obviously, we got examples like Redfall that maybe Microsoft could have did better. But this Bethesda software studio, in this interview with Game Maker's Notebook by Ted Price, he's over there at Insomniac Games, and Todd Howard. Todd Howard just pretty much said, yo, we've had more time to do this. You know, Matt Booty, at the beginning of last year, came out and he said, if we shipped Starfield to this year, it would be the most, what's the word I'm looking for, the most bug-free game that Bethesda has ever shipped. And on top of that, we all remember, keep in mind, we remember in those documents that was released, it was rumored that Starfield was going to come out in 2021 for the longest time. And in that Starfield release date, it just never happened. But then when we got those leaked documents from Bethesda, it clearly said on there that this game was going to come out in 2021. But for some reason, they were able to push it 3 years. Now, we all know the reason they were able to push this game for 3 years is because they had more funding to actually work on the game. The old Bethesda, the Bethesda that wasn't funded by Microsoft, a $1 trillion company, probably would have had to get that game out the door. They couldn't have waited this long because they would have investors barking up their corner. They could not have waited that long. They would have had to get it out. Now, let's get on to this video. Like I said, Gamer's Mark's Notebook by Ted Price is over there at Insomniac Games, and he interviews devs. Let's listen to what exactly is going on with Todd Howard.
And the whole team tests. That's the other thing.
Oh, okay.
We had a version of the game. One of our goals last holiday was everybody went home for holiday break and the game was basically done. There were bugs and etc. But here's a full game. You can play it on we flighted it on the retail Xbox. You can play it at home on your Xbox and your PC. And this should be the game you're playing over holiday. And so the whole team, we tested the game really all year. Just playing it all the time.
All year, guys.
Fixing, I don't want to say how many bugs that our games create. And so we had a lot of QA help. And it does help understanding what kind of bugs your game can create. And then seeing patterns, using systems to go through the data. We do use some automated systems that run through every species.
Now, I'm not going to play this whole video, guys, because I do want to address what's said in the video. So we'll let another minute, maybe a minute and a half play.
So that we can focus on more of the systemic gameplay. Here's 10 ways to break this quest. And we're really happy with where we landed on this release. Given the scale of the game, I think the team just did an amazing job. It's not perfect by any means. Like, there are things that we're obviously fixing and going to continue to fix. But given the scale of it, where we ended up both on a, bug that would block you from playing, and performance was obviously a big one for us, particularly on the consoles. We ended up in a pretty good place, I think.
Yeah, it runs really well. I think, and that's been echoed by reviews.
Listen to what Ted Price says here in a second.
Hardcore critics out there, so congratulations on that. And you said something that I'm not
right here. Listen to this.
Important point. You said that the game was essentially finished last holiday. That's huge, and the fact that, finished is one of those loose terms, but I know the fact that you could take it home and play through it as a developer is, at least in my experience, pretty unusual. Is that your standard approach?
No, we had.
Okay.
That will be now.
See, as you could say here, Todd Howard, the game was done in 2022. And you can argue that, Bethesda has that term, Bethesda. It's because they get games out when they're playable, but not really bug free. You know, there's a lot of nooks and crannies that just aren't fixed, and there's a lot of fluff that isn't really, you know, it's not working correctly. And they've been doing it for the longest time, and I think it isn't a coincidence that this game is working the way it should be. It isn't a coincidence that Starfield is Bethesda's most polished game. And that's because Xbox probably gave them a lot of support in terms of hardware on Xbox and gave them more time in terms of finances where they can actually work and make sure this is the best game they've ever shipped. Now, you can argue over the Metacritic all day long. The numbers speak for itself. And I, for one, am still a little disappointed with the way the industry handled the Metacritic score in terms of Starfield. But one thing you can't deny is that when it comes to this particular game, when it comes to Starfield, Xbox gave them the time they needed to actually develop and bug-free their game. They let the entire studio pretty much Q&A this game for essentially 8 months. You know, you can't really go off of that thing that's saying Microsoft doesn't help these studios. Microsoft just buys studios and lets them do what they want. You have Wasteland 3 was delayed, and they were able to put content in the game that didn't work. That didn't work, but it wasn't in the game. They had a cut because of time frames. Psychonauts' boss fights is arguably one of the biggest reasons that game scored so high. Microsoft was the reason that they are able to put those in the game. So there's no more of this Microsoft doesn't help these studios. They do help these studios. But anyway, what do you guys think? Put in the comment section below. I'm very curious to your guys' opinion on this matter. Look, I get it. In a lot of matters, when it comes to like Redfall, there has been games that slipped through the crack. But I think we can safely say that the majority of the games that Microsoft have helped go through with these studios that they're buying, they have helped tremendously. Even with games that wasn't exclusive to their platform, you can argue that Wasteland 3 and Psychonauts necessarily didn't benefit Xbox and Microsoft for putting those games out because they were a multiplayer. They were rated E for everyone. But they still did it because it was the studio's wishes to go back and put these content in the game, and it was the studio's wishes to make sure they had a very good quality game, and that does benefit Microsoft to make sure that these studios deliver the best content they can, because when they start delivering content only for the Xbox platform and PC, they're going to have good reputation and good state of will with their fans. But anyway, put in the comments section below what you guys think. Do you think that, you know, Microsoft helped Bethesda get Starfield out there as a better quality game? Or do you think all this is just like a massive coincidence? I'm very curious to hear you guys' opinion. Once again, I want to appreciate everyone for supporting me throughout the past couple months. I've been trying to put as much content as I can, but obviously I can only do so much when there's good stuff to talk about. That's why I like these discussion videos with you guys. You know, hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel for weekly content. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.